There's plenty of places for you to drop in Al Mazrah, and where you do drop is completely up to you. Everyone has their favourite place to go to, regardless of where the circle is. Seeing as I'm pretty much a psychic with the accuracy of the other similar video I did, I'm going to tell you the exact type of person you are based on your Warzone drop. I'm so good at my psychic powers that I know you're going to subscribe, turn on those notifications and comment ding ding to let me know you've done it. So without further ado, here is what your Warzone drop says about you. Number 1. HIGHRISE. You either have a death wish or you wish death upon your enemies. You want to feel the nostalgic rush on HIGHRISE for a first blood kill, only you don't have an intervention and everyone is using pistols, so it's less exciting. But that doesn't stop you though. You'll try and try again to come out on top of HIGHRISE, but all you'll get for your efforts is yet another trip to the gulag. In the early days of Warzone, when you've had enough of getting your ass handed to you, you'd steal the helicopter in the middle and try your best to chop up a few lads with the blades. But now that that's been taken away from you, you just continue to take the beating. So after all that and finally giving up, you boot up the OG Modern Warfare 2 and go into a private match on HIGHRISE, just to sit there and reminisce about the good old days. Number 2. Gas stations. You love the smell of money. You're like the Mr. Krabs of Call of Duty. You don't even spend it either, you just go around the map in a car pretending you're Andrew Tate. You're certainly not afraid of bubbles, especially when you have a bubble bath, but instead of using water, you use the wads of cash you just looted from the gas stations. You're pretty much like the Man City of Call of Duty, just completely ruining the economy for the sake of some oil. You're always the one to buy back your teammates. That is, of course, if you decide to, because there's times when you think they should simply not be poor and it's not your job to save them. You'll make up any excuse not to spend your money. And not that you ever will, but if you do manage to get a win, you pride yourself on the Moneybags title at the end game. You're even stingy in real life and you try to order kids meals for the reduced price. When an item doesn't scan at a checkout, you're the type of person to say, "Oh, must be free," only you're dead serious about it. Number 3. The earliest possible drop. You're the embodiment of ADHD. You have no patience for tactical planning and you just want to be let loose like a wild animal. Speed is the name of the game for you, and from the loading screen you're mashing the button to jump out of the plane. You don't care where you go or who's there, as long as you get the first kill, you're happy. In the pre-game lobby you twitch like an addict suffering from withdrawal. Most of your kills come from a pistol, whether that be the bullets or the butt end of it. You brag about your ability to quickly dispatch of your enemies, but your KD ratio is clearly suffering. You used to force your teammates to drop at you, but now they've given up all hope and they put you on mute when you're eventually nagging them to go buy you back at a buy station. And of course you blame the game when you die, because the reason could never be where you decided to drop. Number 4. The latest possible drop. You're one of two people. You've either popped downstairs to make a cup of tea and haven't made it back in time for the drop, or you're a scumbag trying to take advantage of all those AFK players by killing them as they land. I know your game. You're just trying to boost that KD ratio, and it's impossible for you to do that normally because you lack the skill or patience to have a good game. You're not well liked by your friends, especially while they're getting slaughtered by another squad. You're just happily performing finishing moves on AFK players. And when you're questioned about your actions, you'll just refer your mates to the scoreboard where you'll have the majority of kills. It means nothing though, because getting kills in this fashion is like buying followers on Instagram. You're not kidding anyone. We can all see your insecurity through the veil of your KD ratio. Number 5. Fortress. You don't want to fight, and you like having plenty of hiding spaces to avoid your enemies. Normally you'll get a safe drop here, but the odd time you'll be met by someone with the same idea as you, so you both hide in a corner either side of the fortress, waiting for the other to push. Eventually you'll be taken out by someone who's actually playing the game properly. Lucky for you though, you're not too far from the gulag where you can again hide and let your teammate do all the work. If you do manage to be the sole survivor in Fortress, you pray for the final circle to end there so you don't have to leave. You normally run a sniper so you can take out players before they get close enough to kill you themselves. You're quite happy to let everyone else do the fighting while you hide in the background. And you'll stay like that until it's absolutely necessary to show yourself. Some people would say you're a coward, others would say you're strategic. Either way, it'll be a miracle if you come out of a game with more than 2 kills. Number 6. Port. You want absolutely nothing to do with the game. Sure, how could you have any impact with the sheer lack of loot you'll receive from dropping a port? You're more of a COD 4 fanatic. You'll be hitting your 30s soon and you just want to feel like you're in your teens again by exploring pipeline and shipment. Your body and mind aren't what they used to be. Gone are the days of you rushing B flag and wiping a whole team with your M16. Now you're just happy to sit in the fringes and grab what little loot you can find. It helps being away from the action too, because most of the time you'll have to go AFK to go change a nappy or do other things that grown-ups do. I wouldn't know. Your best days are behind you, but you've accepted that. You could have been a pro footballer if it wasn't for your dodgy knee. And you unintentionally make people feel bad for killing you by saying, "Damn, you got me." It lets us know that we take slurs and insults for granted. Nothing causes heartbreak quite like a fair play message. Number 7. Observatory. You're the alpha and everyone is below you. Al Mazrah is the kingdom and you are its ruler. You're like a dominant silverback when you drop into the observatory. You pound on your chest, inviting anyone who dares challenge you. You do get your fair share of challengers, but they're dispatched of with ease. Your win-loss ratio is only bettered by your KD ratio. You put fear into the hearts of players around you, and you have the sweatiest loadout known to man, but you don't even need it. You could take an entire 4-man team out with your fists if you wanted to. The only thing more horrifying than your presence in game is the shit bucket that you get your parents to clean out every week. Your vitamin D levels are at a critical low, and any interaction you have in real life normally goes badly. If someone was to ask you where you've travelled, you'd say Syed City, Akhtar Village and Al Mazrah City. You're considered the weirdo in any situation, but when you're in Al Mazrah, it's your paradise. It's just a shame no one wants to be near you in or out of the game. Number 8. Tarak Village. You're a tactical genius, or at least you think you are. You plan your entire gameplay down to the exact coordinate and have a roadmap laid out for you and your team. You're easily set off, especially when one of your teammates refuses to follow your exact plan and loots an extra building. Doesn't matter if you found a 3-play vest or a UAV, he didn't follow your instruction. You're like the Pep Guardiola of COD, just without the accomplishments or the genius. You know that Tarak is the sweet spot between survivability and quality of loot. You're always the first to take the stronghold that appears there, and you're happy to camp out there until you're forced to move. Even though you have a carefully thought out plan that takes every scenario into consideration, you hardly ever get a win. That's because you lack the gunfight skill to ever pull the plan off. You're normally taken out by a kid who slides into buildings, spraying their akimbo X13s like a fire sprinkler. The only way you do get a win is from your teammate carrying you. This is normally the same alpha that disobeyed your orders and dropped an observatory, yet you still complain at them even though they won the game for you. Number 9. Quarry. You're the average player. You boast a solid 1.0 KD ratio, and you're the utility player of any good team. You'll never have the highest damage or the lowest. Even in the gulag, you'll always kill one person. No more, no less. You're so balanced that Thanos is asking you for tips. Normally you're the last to die in the squad, mainly because you don't go rushing into buildings like a headless chicken. You're the glue and the whole team would fall apart without you. Still, nobody really knows what you do. You just happen to exist and be enough of a presence that allows the better players to pop off and drop 15 kills in a game. You just glide along without a worry in the world. Even when you're downed, you won't stress because you know you'll do enough in the gulag to get by. Outside of COD, you can blend in anywhere. There's nothing distinct about you, and that's just the way you like it. You don't like to make a fuss or be the centre of attention, even if it's good for you. Don't ask me how I got all this information from you dropping at Quarry. I just know. Number 10. Airport. You are privileged. Being at the airport in Al Mazrah reminds you of the ski trips you went on as a kid. You've never faced hardship, and with you coming from a wealthy family, you always find a way to get your hands on some cash. So much so that you're able to pinpoint a hidden cache full of money by the smell alone. You don't hang about in the public terminal with the common folk. You take over a private hangar and make it your own. The fighting that goes on here isn't with guns. It's just a bunch of lads bickering over whose dad has the biggest business. When your teammates ask you for some money for the buy station, you say no, and that they wouldn't be so poor if they had made better life choices. You'd be the best if the game was pay to win, but thankfully for everyone else it isn't, and you need to rely on your gun skill for you to succeed. It's a far cry from mommy and daddy's money getting you out of every situation. So that was what your Warzone drop says about you. Did I miss out on your favourite drop zone? Let me know in the comments below. And subscribe, turn on the notifications and comment ding ding to let me know you've done it, and I'll shout you out in my next video. Anyway, I have been Lenny, and I'll see you next time.